Hello and welcome to Bendy, a podcast about being flexible and all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young and I'm one of your improper, incorruptible hosts. Joining me as always is our other improper and incorruptible host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always.
Hi, Andy. How's it going?
Good. That was a tough one because I had an
Mm.
in, then an im. So it was a bit of a tongue
Ooh,
twister. So
yes.
I had to do my vocal exercises beforehand.
You're like unique New York,
Yes,
unique New York.
exactly. So how are you doing?
I'm good now. I'm thinking about vocal exercises.
I know. I hear I've heard some really great ones. That's another episode idea. We're just going to talk about vocal exercises.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Vocal fry.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. Like
I know.
we get an hour out of that easy.
We could. That's the thing. We can get an hour out of anything,
That's
which I
so
think is
true.
pretty amazing. I'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, we're like 1 minute five, and we're still talking about like I don't even know what we talk about anymore.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It catches our interest at the start of an episode.
Limitless. It's the best.
True.
Um, yeah, I'm good. Are we cracking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start cracking.
I'm gonna start cracking. So it was my bunny's 10th birthday, and I totally forgot about it.
Oh, I wish I'd known. I would have sent a gift, Beth.
I
I really
know.
feel like
So
something's went wrong there.
it's right. So I threw some photos of our animals up from last week.
Uh-huh.
And one of them was Sophie, and like he looks like a cat. I'm like, this is a rabbit, not a cat. But yeah,
Hmm.
he's 10. He's a 10. I have a bunny named Sophie, who is a male who is 10 years old.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not a long
Hey,
story.
hi, rabbit or bunnies, how long did they live? I don't know. I don't want to.
They can live up to like 15
Wow, that's good.
years. Yeah. So quite a lot longer than I assumed they were like gerbils or hamsters, but
Hmm.
no, they're not. They actually live quite a long time. So
Yeah, that's good. No, I'm glad to
yes.
hear it. That's
So
good.
yeah.
Yeah, because what Sasha's going to be 12 in a few months.
Ooh.
She was in here whenever I started recording, but she was making noise and so she's scratching a lot at the minute.
Yes.
For those of you,
Stardust gross licking.
yes. So her scratching is it's more intense than usual at the minute. So we're having to like keep an eye on it, but see if it's something that is up with her.
Like fleas or like a
No,
skin irritation.
not even that. So apparently, right, scratching on dogs is a sign whenever they're in pain, they'll scratch more than
Oh,
usual.
okay.
And her scratching's a wee bit more than usual. It might be connected to her arthritis, so we're just trying to figure out what's going on with her. But so yeah, so I'm moderate. So I've got like a I've got like a how itchy is your dog chart. We're gonna have a wee I'm gonna have like a wee kind of line graph at the end of this showing how itchy Sasha has been over the next kind of 3 weeks, which is exciting. So
A bar
she's
graph of itchiness.
yeah. So like as much as I don't mind, I don't she's got a scratch, she's got a scratch. It's not good for the audio if you're hearing a scratching dog every
Right.
5 minutes. Yeah,
Right. Well, we could chart it,
it's true.
Well, you're missing out on a valuable hour.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
What
sorry.
about
So that was I kind of moved on from talking
you
about
sure did
Sophie's.
you were like, how are you? And this is about what's happening with my dog.
Exactly, and I just bulldozed over the Sophie
You sure
chat.
did.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. And then my best friend was visiting for this last
Hmm.
week. We met in college when we were 19. Like we were living diagonally at
Hmm.
the college hall, and we all like in the United States, you usually have a roommate if you're not like super wealthy.
Yep.
And so my roommate hated me and her roommate hated her. And like I remember I was a nerd, I'm just gonna call it like
Hmm.
she says it. But
Hmm.
I remember she was harassing me to the point where I would be her friend. And I remember sitting in like Psych 101 in a big lecture hall with like 800 people, and like I hear someone scream, "Hey Beth, did anyone ever tell you you're ugly?" And like it was her, and she's standing up just like waving at me. And that was the beginning of a wonderful
Wonderful friendship.
best friendship. Yeah.
Was that like were you in the middle of a lecture at that point or just in lecture hall?
No, it was the beginning, before,
Okay, that's okay.
yeah, the teacher hadn't showed up yet, but yeah, that
That
was
I thought that would have been even more chaotic if the teacher had
yeah.
been teaching at that
I
point.
mean, honestly, that's totally something she would do. So
That's great.
yeah, so it was good. It was good.
Good to see her. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. It's
Um,
been like a year. They come and visit in January, so
nice. Oh, does
yes.
fairly regularly she comes to visit in January? Yeah, okay. Nice. That's good. That's
Yeah, they
nice.
go visit her family in Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
and then she was like marlin fishing
Oh,
too, and caught like a 450-pound marlin
damn.
and threw it back,
Okay,
which is
good.
also why I love her. Yes, it's back and swimming in the ocean, telling all of its family the tale of, the hour struggle.
It's
And
it's it's visit to the land of air.
yes.
Because they're big, like marlins kind of like they're scary fish. They are with their big sort of skewer nose.
Yeah, they have a pointy beaky nose.
And they've got
And
like
I
big
don't,
frilled like
that's a,
breast or spine type thing.
oh, I think that is, maybe, I can't remember if that's a swordfish or a
Okay,
marlin. People are gonna, fisher people, please let us know, because I'm
do.
curious about the difference. I
Hmm.
think it's, I think they have a shorter one and they're bigger fish.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
So,
very little
if there was
difference
a
in
tournament, she probably would have won.
that. He's scared. Absolutely.
What about you? We have
So
itching.
we have itching, we have dog itching, I got to see some friends at the weekend was for the first time in a while. So I got one of my groups of buds. I haven't seen most of them for about like 6 months. One of my friends, one of that group, got married 2 weeks ago, and nobody really. I won't say his name in case anybody knows him, but like he got married 2 weeks ago, and nobody really knew until a few days beforehand. So I wasn't
Okay.
at the wedding, and it was just, and he has his reasons for doing that, and I respect that. But it is kind of funny where he's kind of like, so got married a few weeks ago. And you're like, yes, we know. And half our sort of oh, it was a bit last minute, so didn't let anybody know. And it's like, we know you, we know that you are like, as much as I consider myself to be like an antisocial person, social or socially whatever, he is significantly worse. So I understand why he did that. And apparently his girlfriend that he is now married to is similar. We
His
haven't
wife.
met her. We haven't met her. So like one of our
His
group,
girlfriend, who he's now married to. I'm like, his wife.
yeah,
You
oh
can,
yeah, no,
his
his,
wife.
there's
You're
one
like,
other
it's hard to say.
there's another podcast I listen to, and they talk about their ex-girlfriends when they're talking about their wives because they're no longer girlfriends, so they are technically an ex. Uh,
Right.
right?
Right.
See the logic there, kind of.
I do.
Um,
It's hilarious.
um, so Mike, could I call you his ex-girlfriend?
Yeah,
It would be true,
you
right?
could. Yeah,
So,
he would be my ex-girlfriend.
anyway. It was good to see him, and but they and I was happy for him because I think it seems to be going well for him, so I understand his reasons for doing it that way. But one of their group is probably his best friend, and he hadn't met the woman he was due to marry, and about a month or so or 2 months he said, look, I'm coming to your house and we're meeting, me and my wife are meeting you and your girlfriend, because he had to basically force him to do it. He was like, oh, okay, begrudgingly, you can meet my girlfriend, the woman I'm planning to spend my life with. So
And she's a real human being.
she's a real human being. I have
Okay.
confirmation from somebody I trust. Yeah, so I'm
Okay,
I'm I'm,
good.
I'm
Good.
happy for him.
Okay. Well,
But yeah,
congratulations.
right. Congratulations. It's nice. But yeah, so I mean, so it was always good, and it was good to see that bunch of folks. So it's always good to have a wee weekend event to see people. But yeah, apart from that, just something I keep meaning to update on, and I guess it's under crack, is that I haven't smelled smoke for a long time now, about a month.
Good.
So I don't know whether Scotland was the
Okay,
reset switch, but
maybe, but we started podcasting in November
yeah,
and it's now January.
yeah. So
That's like 3 months of smelling smoke.
and it was going on before that as well. So Pretty knows. Who knows?
Thank you,
Who
Scotland.
knows? Exactly, yeah. That beautiful Scottish air and
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
lashings and lashings of porridge.
Do they bottle the? I was at a gift shop
Hmm.
that was selling bottled air from the place that it was located, and I was like, for $8.
That's an amazing scam.
I
Shit.
know so you should find out if anyone's bottling Scottish air.
And I should ball Irish air. I mean, like the next time we go to the US and just that fun of a trip,
Yep,
just guys,
here you
authentic Irish
go.
air.
That's right.
Can you believe it?
Don't breathe it all at once.
Yeah, 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 yeah. These normally go for like $100, but for you, 50.
It's a really
Right?
nice bottle.
It is a really nice bottle. Yeah, 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 yeah.
You can reuse it.
I mean, I'll just like as long as I have, some sort of shamrock on it, they'll lop them up,
Yes, yes. Remind me to
right?
show you some of the shirt designs where I was trying to like combine Ireland and the USA.
Oh,
And other
really?
people have done it. And there's like an eagle and like I don't even know. It was like I almost bought us each one because it was so amazing. Like you
Okay.
can never actually wear it out of the house, but
No.
you could wear it in the house while you
Okay.
were podcasting.
Yeah, I'll have to see
So
this.
I'll
This
find
looks
it.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
please do.
It's like I found it or it popped up somewhere and I was like, what is this amazing piece of artistry here?
Yeah.
Like, right. And then I tried to do a search for it and I couldn't find it. So now I have to
Okay.
like
Like,
I almost sent it to you to be like, should we go in this direction for merchandise? Speaking of merchandise,
yes.
yeah.
Is this what's
Um,
occurring? Yeah, I think this is what's
yeah, I
occurring.
guess we've moved. So really, I want to talk about our Patron,
Patreon?
Patreon.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna say Patron
Like
because
Patronus, like a Harry Potter style?
yeah, you can say Patronus or just like the tequila,
Oh, yes.
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
okay,
Uh-huh.
patronage. So I'm adding episodes, and I guess I want to know because I think we're far. Well, I guess this is more something I should ask Andy, not the whole
Hmm.
world, but we could do early release episodes. So if
Yeah.
anyone is interested in that, that's something that I'm finding all the things that we can offer. And that is one of them. So if anybody is interested in knowing what we're going to talk about early
Hmm.
ahead of everybody else, just let us know. But it's actually quite fun to put this whole thing together and watch us do
Yeah.
this because now I'm rewatching them, and we're funny. We're funny. I think we're pretty funny.
I'm glad you think so.
I think it's worth a monthly small donation so we
Hell
can
yeah.
keep the proverbial lights on.
Yes.
And literally just
Exactly.
like the website, and I've done a few ads.
Uh-huh.
So just trying to market a little bit, and that's going well. So we just want to help spread the word so other people can bendy and listen to us blah blah blah
Yep.
and banter at each other. We have our PhDs in blathering,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
please join us. And that's what I
Four
have up
years
there. Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
spent getting those
Yeah,
PhDs, yeah.
that's right.
So now
It's true.
you get to see the benefit of it.
Well, I mean, we
It's
met in
for
2019, so it makes sense.
it's exactly, exactly. So the one thing I had, the one current update I had, I'm gonna butcher it again, was somebody had said, so we talked about Halloween
Uh-huh.
and the word is um Samhain.
Same, uh-huh.
And I
Same
had pronounced it
here.
how it was written, right? So I had said Samhain. And I think that's how I've heard it pronounced, but I think probably by in American movies and stuff like that. So the actual word it's more like SOWN, but split into two. So Samhain or Sown. I mean, I'm
Really?
shrugging now, yeah, but because it's an Irish word, I think originally, so it's like it's kind of so and no, okay, hold on, Samhain,
Sa-win.
yeah, yeah,
That's I'm like
but it's
writing
like
the word down and then Samhain.
it's like one of those words, like
Fascinating. I
you know,
love it when people come to us with us because I'm learning so much.
yeah, but it's like one
And
of
these
those
are things
words,
I actually want to know.
yeah, exactly, the useful stuff like the witching hour and whatnot, but
Uh-huh.
like it's like one of those words whenever you sit first see hyperbole written down, you're like, well, that's hyperbole. That's clearly
Uh-huh.
that word is hyperbole. You're ridiculous if you're going to expect me to believe that that is hyperbole. But yeah, it is. And hyperbole sounds like, whenever I heard it, I was always like, that sounds like a very sort of, some sort of American sports tournament that combines all your sports together at the same time, right? The hyperbole,
Yeah. I'm
which is
trying
kind
to
of
think if
rad.
there is, that would be something that would be, well, that's the Olympics, but yeah,
It's true. But
it's really
kind of
funny.
what I'm thinking is, is people playing basketball, football, and
All at the same
baseball all
time.
at the same time somehow,
Yeah, this could be a new league that
right?
we could start. Yeah.
It could be a money spinner. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
need to write
Uh-huh.
that
I
down.
like it.
Nobody else is allowed us to do that idea.
Nope, nope, nope. Copywriting.
It's ours.
It is because I said the word copyright.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. Well,
So yeah,
thank you, listener, for that info.
yes, exactly. Thank you.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I think that's. Do you have anything else for what's occurring currently, or
I don't think so. We're just
okay?
chugging along.
Um, so shall we move on to our podcast topic? Do you want to introduce the
I
topic to everyone?
sure. The topic is best bad habits.
Hmm.
I was making a list and mine were like dark and awful. And I was like, this isn't gonna be funny. And so I did a family poll.
Okay.
So based on my children and my husband, these are the bad habits I either had or currently am employing.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah. So it's funny because I got the outsider's perspective on some of
Yes, I
these.
think it
And
is.
the whole time Mike's like, I don't want you to be mad or I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm like, no, no, this is for the show. Like, come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
like lay it on me.
Give it
Like
to me.
yeah, I'm not upset about it at all. So
Yeah.
some of these are terrible and you're gonna think really like badly about me, but I
But I
really am
think,
I'm totally an environmentalist.
but like, I think that, everybody has terrible habits, to be honest with you. I think people don't really like to admit them or more downplay. It's like, oh, it's not terrible because I do it. I've rationalized it in a way. So, I mean, everybody has things like this. And I think acknowledging them is, you know, a step
The
on
first step towards
defeating them.
acceptance.
Oh, yeah, accepting them. Accepting, defeating them,
Right.
one or the other.
That's where our minds go. Oh, Andy.
I know. It's true. It's a damning indictment of my mindset.
Yeah. Um, okay, do you want to just start?
Sure. Um,
What you got? What you got?
so I think, and the first one that I wanted to talk about was, and I think it's a very Northern Irish thing, probably a UK thing, is
Ooh.
swearing.
Ah.
So I like his, I think that I have certainly cleaned up my act a little in that regard, but like for a long time, swearing's just used as punctuation in this country. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fucking this, fucking
Yeah.
that, fucking fuck,
Yeah.
fuck, fuck. And it's like you don't notice it. And I have a memory of as a boy being with I must have been late teens, I guess. And being with friends and um I didn't know my dad had come home and we were in the same room and I was swearing up a storm and I still don't swear that much to around my parents. I have started it's as time has went on, it's went up. Like I think generally my swearing's down, but anyway, I digress. Um so I was swearing up a storm and my dad just came in and lit into me. It's like I can't believe that words are coming out of your and I didn't know he
Yeah.
was there. It was such a shock and I was just like, ah,
Sorry, Dad.
my dad.
I could totally got busted. I swear too.
Yeah, I think it's more common, like for Western countries in a fairly big way. But I saw some things saying how like swearing is actually, there's an authenticity to it, and it kind of can be quite cathartic, like almost a stress reliever,
Mhm.
So there is sort of value to it in some ways. But yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so is it is it part of your culture to not swear?
No,
Like,
I would say the exact opposite. I would
okay.
say, but like, I mean, like so many of these things on our surface, we are a polite, civilized, yada, blah, blah, blah. but
mhm,
you
mhm,
hear a lot of swearing, I think. But I think it's almost seen as like a common thing to do. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like it's not
mhm.
befitting somebody of a, somebody
Whatever
proper
class.
wouldn't swear, but
Uh-huh.
who gives a fuck is what I say to them.
Is it- like I had to make a decision because it's just part of who I am.
Yeah.
And I had to make a decision like, am I going to swear around my children or not?
Hmm.
And I really do. I have not changed my yeah, they hear it like normal speak, and some days we let them. I'm like, all right, you have an hour, let it all out, and
Oh,
then
you've said, yeah.
yeah, I'm like, go for it. Because I kind of like you said, like there's power behind it, and they feel the power behind it, and
Hmm.
and I'm like, but then the rule is that like they can't speak around their friends like that, they can't speak at school like that, and so they don't. But like, the other night, Harper was like, "This movie's just so fucking good," and I'm like, "Hey, it really is," you know.
So good.
So I'm hip I'm hip to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's a good.
that's
That's a good. That's a good bad habit.
that's the first out of the gate. Yeah, I think there's value to swearing, honestly. I think like, in I always respect comedians who can tell a good joke without swearing. Like I think, some comedians lean on it far too heavily. So
Yeah,
I understand the value of not doing it, but I also think that it's a good tool to kind of have in your arsenal.
like Jim Gaffigan.
Yes. Yes, and he's great.
Yeah, he's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, he
I
is.
saw him live once.
Oh,
Don't be
nice.
jealous. I know,
Oh,
it was
I'm
great.
jealous. So what about you?
Uh,
What do you have for me?
so I do this thing where it's really derogatory, but we call them girl beers, where you just drink like half of your beverage
Hmm.
and then you open another one and then like leave that one. You drink half of that and leave that somewhere else. And like that was the first thing that Mike said. He was like, "Oh yeah, like your half drunk soda cans." He's like, and if I catch him in time, right, like I'll drink them after you so that like it gets drunk. But
Yeah.
like he's like, some days I find like six or seven and I'm just like going around like behind you, like picking them up as you're
Wow.
dropping them. Yeah, like Albert in the first Batman. Like when Michael Keaton like goes to set a champagne glass
And he
down
sees
and he
Scott's
just
right.
grabs it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
So yeah, and apparently this has gone on my whole like adult life because Becca was like, or my best friend was like, there's three girl beers on the counter. You're still doing this? And I was just like, "Ugh, yes."
Wow.
So
Very
yeah.
interesting. It's just
Mhm.
because like they're kind of starting to get a bit flatter and stuff like that as it goes on, and
Yeah, I'm
they're a bit
busy.
warmer. Yeah,
Yeah, like I'm moving around all day, like, and I'll
sure.
forget. I'll just be like, "Oh, I'm thirsty." And I won't be like, "Where did I leave my glass?" or whatever.
Get you.
So I'm trying to be better about it. And I have like one of these canteen things,
Yes.
and that's harder to lose, but it's not as much fun. I just
Yeah.
like and I like to crack the can open
It's
and the
very
whole like
satisfying.
it is just feels good.
That's
So
nice.
I think that's
Okay.
part of it. Yep.
That's a good one. That's acceptable. Right.
Okay.
I think that, yeah, there's some sort of magic about the first sort of swig out of a can,
Mhm.
especially can stuff. It just feels like, and I have had plenty of
It's like
people.
lighting a cigarette. Not that I've
Yes.
ever done that.
Yeah, me neither.
Or like lit everyone else's cigarettes, sometimes
Yeah,
four or five at a time.
just to get that sweet hit.
Total party trick
Yeah, that's
that I've
nice.
never done.
Um, that's a good one. So um, okay, so I don't think I really do this, but I think I'm kind of addicted to it, which is gossiping.
Oh, me too.
Like I really love to hear hot goss, like I mean,
Hot goss.
more than anything. Like and here's the thing, and I think I get a lot of hot goss because I'm good with secrets. Like I don't, if
Mhm.
somebody says to me, nobody can know about this, nobody knows about it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm really good for that. Um, So
You're just a good listener
I am, and
too.
I do, and I ask questions. I think that are, I'm not just like blah blah. I actually listen, and I'm like, if there's anything relevant I have to add, I think I'm quite good at that. But um, so like I just love hearing, but I think that is um fairly normal. It's common. It's
No, but no, I will say, like, I've never heard a man admit that.
yeah. It's true, and it's so and guys love to gossip, like, but they just I think it's because the word gossiping in particular gets has a bad name or seems to be attached to like femininity in a way for a lot of
Hmm.
guys. I don't think I
Hmm.
agree with that necessarily,
Hmm.
but I think like yeah, and I've heard this, in scientific, I'm doing air quotes, I don't know if there's scientific studies that like gossiping's good in terms of, making you feel connected to the community and a part of something, and it's good for your mental health. But I just love, like, I really love. So there was a online, I guess it was kind of newsletter. I really don't know if it still exists. I think it does in some form, called Pop Bitch. And I used to get like beyond the newsletter, and I would get like a pop bitch. You get it sent every week or whatever, and it was just filled with like these like gossipy celebrity stories, and they were like depending on how incendiary they were. Sometimes it would say some blah 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 singer has been seen doing this sort of shit, like because before Chris Brown was outed as like the woman beater that he is.
Uh-huh.
There was a ton of stuff about him and that sort of thing. And it didn't mention him by name, but everybody kind of fucking knew who they were talking about.
Yeah.
Um, and that guy still has a massive career, which is always kind of staggering to me. But yeah, it was very interesting, and as I say, I still love to get a bit of goss.
Um, so I am super hip on the gossip train
Hmm.
also,
Hmm.
like multiple times to Daily Mail, TMZ.
Hmm.
I'm also, I don't know if you've heard of the latest one is on Instagram called Dumois,
Hmm.
where people actually like send in tips.
Oh,
Like saw this
really?
person eating, like saw Taylor Swift at this restaurant eating pasta and like drinking a Cosmo. She had two or whatever. And so it's like it's not even, and it's like people are giving tips for free. So what was monetized before is totally
Yeah,
like she's changed this person. And that's the other thing. We don't know who this person Dumois is. No one knows. So it's like
quite
an
interesting.
anonymous, yeah, it's a thing. And so there's a newsletter that comes out every week that's like, like here's what's happened and like things that have come true, like in the news. She will have, or they will have like put a like blind item in, and
Uh-huh.
that's reveal moi. And that's also on Instagram. I'm such a nerd right now. Apparently, this is something that we have in common. So I'm like, yeah, it's like it's crazy. And then they've started their own merchandise line. So you'll see like for yeah, have a hot tip, call 1-800-DUMOIS. And people
Uh-huh.
are wearing these shirts, they're wearing the hats. You'll probably see them in Ireland now.
How interesting. Yeah,
I
that's
know.
I
And
think
then
that's
yeah, it's
you,
like a thing.
you just have to host and build, momentum for something like that, and then just people can create the content. That's fascinating. I
Yeah.
suppose like that's like a lot of things like YouTube and stuff like that, I suppose as well. But
I
that's
mean, yeah,
interesting
it's
business model.
totally different than what other people have done. Now they're partnering with like restaurants that celebrities go to, and like, it's a whole thing. And
Awesome.
it's made every single person feel like they're part of this like underground gossip train
I like
thing.
it.
So
Like
yeah.
I should be clear as well. Like I don't want, any sort of anything that like is damaging or hurtful to people isn't the
Same.
sort of stuff I'm interested in at all.
Right.
I
No.
really don't want to know like, but if like, things that like maybe people struggle to talk about or they don't feel they can talk about, do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's and because it's like it's helpful to me as a human just kind of knowing, oh, thank God, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not just me who's like a mess at times.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
struggles and goes
Yeah.
through these things. It's kind of a relief in a lot of ways. So I yeah, love it.
Do you
Mad for the
gossip?
goss.
So you're like, do you gossip about like, do people come to you and tell them gossip about like your friends?
I guess like I think I said to you before, I'm in like multiple kind of friend groups, so people
Yeah,
will talk about stuff, and I think that like if somebody is
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide, as we know, um, as you know, depending on like for example, my friend earlier, I'd heard
Hmm.
ahead of time that he was getting married, and I was like,
Hmm.
what? And it was
Hmm.
like 2 weeks beforehand, and I couldn't believe it. So that was a wee slice of goss. So I do get told stuff, and as well because I am pretty discreet, and I don't know, who knows why I get told this stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I do tend to get told a lot of it. People, I don't think I seek it out necessarily, but people do kind of, I don't know, like talking to me. The
Hmm.
freaks,
Hmm. The
those
freaks.
freaks who like to talk to me. You weirdos. I love you. Somebody joking.
It's good. Okay, are you ready for this?
Yeah, hit
Don't
me.
hate me, world. I leave the heat on and the doors open. I leave the
Yeah,
lights on when I leave the room. I turn the air conditioner on and leave the doors open.
insanity.
Um, I know. I'm that person.
Um, I think certainly lights is very common. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
I don't think that is unusual. But it's good that you know that you're doing it.
That I'm talking about it
Yeah,
or
I
that
because
I'm
I
doing it. That I'm
because I
killing
think a
the
lot of people
environment.
just would be like, just light on in the room. Who put it on? Wasn't me. You sure?
No,
Like,
it's absolutely me. And
yeah.
there's like six cans of soda sitting right next to the lamp that's on. So it's like,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
I have a weird like body and it needs to be a certain temperature and it's really high. It's hard to maintain just the right temperature so that I
sure.
don't get like cold hands and need to wear the Big Lebowski sweater, right?
Yep.
Like, but that's something I think I need to work on and
Hmm.
not accept. So,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good to acknowledge it. I like it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I think I do it to an extent, and I like though money being what it is and everything being so expensive at the minute, I've definitely been more mindful of it and more kind of careful about it. But
Yeah.
then,
And to be fair, like we have solar power,
yes,
so I'm
exactly.
not killing the rivers
So you need to
that I
use
know.
that solar power. Yeah,
Right. Well,
exactly.
gotta get it,
You gotta
gotta
get your
use
money's
it.
worth. Yeah,
That's
exactly. You gotta
right.
get value out of that power. No, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, look, and I say I definitely do. And I mean, if, for example, I have to leave Sash to the house and it's nighttime, you better believe I'm putting a light on in the front room, light on in the back room. The radio's going to be on so she doesn't get lonely. I'm not going to apologize for that. That's just how it is.
Right. Right.
Because my
And
girl's
it's
got.
like normally, and I didn't think about this. We don't have as many lights,
Hmm.
but you know, because it's really sunny here, and
I
I
was
was
going to say,
complaining,
yeah,
because it's just dark. It's so dark that I actually have to have a light on today, and I was like, look, the light's on. It's so weird.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I'll leave a room and leave all the lights on. Sometimes like I'll get up in the middle of the night, get a drink of water, forget, and Mike will be like, "You left the lights on all night, like, again last night." I'm like, "Damn it, come on, sorry." It's just like I'm already like 10 steps ahead of like this is how not present I am.
sure. It's interesting.
So yeah.
I have been leaving. I'm fair. I have been leaving a lamp on occasionally in the kitchen to let the mice know that there's no business. There's no food to be at here. Stay away.
Don't even
It
try.
does not work.
How are the
Okay.
mice? How are the mice?
I haven't seen him in a few days. I think he might have
Okay.
got the hint, but I really don't know.
Okay.
He's Yeah, he's a cheeky bastard. He was on this desk last Wednesday or Thursday. I came in. I had an apple after my lunch I'd eaten an apple and I'd set the apple core on a plate on my desk. And I had to go off and do other things. I should have cleared it away. Came back. He was on the plate. He was eating the apple core.
He's like, thanks so much. So tasty.
Such an asshole.
So
So
considerate.
yeah. So
Well, treat him nicely or he'll die on your wall and then smell
that's
the place
true.
up.
That is
Mhm.
true. Yeah, I don't want to do
Mhm.
that.
That
Um,
hap- that happened to me once when I was in the dorm.
Hmm.
the dormitories, and like you couldn't do anything about it. They're not gonna like break the wall down to get the dead mouse out. So we just had to deal with dead mouse smell for like a week and a half. It was so gross.
Yeah, no,
You're
no,
welcome for that story.
gross.
Mm-hmm.
I yeah, so no, shall I do another one?
Yeah.
I guess like 100% I have a terrible overeating habit. Like I have to absolutely like currently I am because of like my Christmas successes, I am back to putting everything I eat into an app because like the simple act of observation really kind of helps me go, oh, okay, and has been proven to kind of work for me in the past because otherwise I will just and it's emotional eating, I think, so I will just like, constantly shovel food in my mouth and be like, that was nice. I've eaten a lot of it. I still want that sensation.
Right.
I'm gonna go and eat some more food.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a bad habit of mine. And I think because I think I told you about it before and on the podcast, like 'cause I'm pretty certain I have a bit of an addictive personality. So it's why I try to like temper things. I try to limit things as much as possible or in a way that's sustainable.
Hmm.
So this has worked for me before. But like nor ordinarily when I do this for a period of time, like I have 5 months or whatever of doing this and I lose a bit of weight and I'm like, okay, I can, this is a bit restrictive. I'll come off it for a while now. I'll have a week where it'll be fine. And then I'll just pig out one day and then it's like, ooh, here we go.
Is
Welcome
it
to the
like
pig out zone.
the roller coaster of
Yes,
eating emotions? Yeah, I didn't used to do that. And then I think it was like when I started like experimenting with weed in
sure.
like college, and I was like I'd never had the munchies before, and then I was like, this is so amazing. This food tastes so great. Like, oh, this is the best. And then I started picking up that behavior, which is
Mhm.
like, I'm blaming the drugs, but
It's definitely a big problem. Like, because that is one of the other ones I was going to get to later, is the whole weed thing, and it's like
yeah.
it has definitely become a habit for me, and I have kind of noticed I've become reliant on it, and I'm like, and it is, I mean, people talk about gateway drugs. I think weed more than anything is a gateway drug to eating food
Same.
more
That's my
than
yeah.
any other drug.
For me, it's napping and eating
Yes.
like
So
the right amount of Reese's to pretzel
yeah,
ratio,
because
right?
yeah, and then you like have that combo, and you're like, this is the most amazing thing ever. I need to keep having the sensation again and again.
Yes, yes.
Hey, hey, hey.
And
So
then if you
yeah,
have someone next to you to tell them about like the amazing experience that you're having in your mouth.
there's a party in my mouth.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. Um, so yeah, I would say yes to both of those. Like I'm having a problem right now where I get it's like I have like food manias where
Yes.
like 2 weeks ago it was sliced turkey. Like we
Hmm.
found this really
Hmm.
good sliced turkey and Mike went out and like bought and I'm just like rolling it and I'm eating it. I'm having as much as I want of it. And it's not like bad for you or whatever. Or maybe it is, who knows.
I
But
mean, in the grand scheme of things,
the
it's okay. It's protein and
right. So
stuff,
then
There's
yeah,
value.
so
There's
then he goes
value
to the
there.
store this last week and now I don't want it. And he's like, I just bought you like $30 worth of dried turkey. And I'm like, you don't want it anymore. Now I'm on a Tillamook cheese and chips together.
Ooh,
Corn chips,
nice.
so good. And then I just like right ratio of those. And I'm
What's
not
the
even
cheese?
high. Oh, do you have Tillamook?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's good. I'm sure I shoved some down your throat when you
Quite
visited.
possibly, yeah.
It's so good. It's like the best cheese in the world. They do like ice cream, butter, and it's a cow co-op in like off the
Oh, I see. Oh,
coast.
quite
Yeah.
possibly you did get me to try some, now you mention
Yep,
it. Yeah.
yep. I sent
Right.
some to our friend from yoga.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it took her and her mom like I sent her a loaf
Yeah, she
of
showed me a
cheese.
picture of this, or she showed me a
Yeah.
picture of it. It was
She was
insane.
like, it took us a month to eat it. I'm like,
Hell yeah.
that's way too long. We go through one of those like a week. And that's the baby loaf. So,
Um,
uh, sorry, I just took over.
no, you didn't. It was great.
But okay, do you want to talk about weed?
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's get into it. So I guess like it's and I think for a long time I have said to myself, it's not addictive, it's fine. And I don't think it is, but I think, I have an addictive personality anyway. I kind of like the kind of so I think I've said this to you before. For a long time, it was a reliable way for me to not to switch off completely. Now,
Mhm.
I never roll the dice. Sometimes it will be allow me to completely disconnect, and I can like chill out. I can get under my weighted blanket. I can watch a show. It's like my wee escape pod. But there are sometimes I'll take it, and my brain will go, "Do you remember that thing that you thought you had figured out and you had kind of resolved and made peace with? Shall we
Mhm.
re-examine that in exhaustive
Mhm.
detail for like 30 minutes?" Which isn't great.
Huh.
And it happens less, I think like 25% of the time, but it's still enough that I'm like, I probably need to revisit this whole thing and see whether I can at least take a step back from it or whatever. But I've become so reliant on it that it's gonna be tough. But one of the changes I did make with it was because like I did tell you this before. Whenever we roll joints in this country, you have tobacco with them as well.
Mhm.
So I eliminated that and I started using something else, and it saved me a ton of money in weed and stopped me smoking tobacco, which I was pretty pleased with. But this is the thing. In a case like that, you give them tobacco and you're like, good for me, giving up tobacco, and you just go harder into the weed. You know?
Yes. So
So
it's like legal here.
yes.
And so I'm sorry, I'm gonna pause this for 1 second.
Yep.
Can you hear the bird?
I can.
Uh, You should shut up.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Mike's on a call. He's like, what the fuck is she doing?
What's
I'm
that
like,
bird doing?
I know. So now she's in her condo out in
Okay.
the center. Okay, sorry about that.
It's all right. Shall we do you know where we're at?
Weed.
Wait, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
do you
do
want
you
to
want
take
me to
let's just do a
pause?
pause and then we'll get into it again.
Okay.
So so
So California, it's all legal.
mhm.
And what that means now is I remember, um, well, I'm not gonna get into that, but I basically had to go and the 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 amount of THC that is in these edibles and all of it, it's like the percentage, it's like this one's 4,000% THC, and you're just like, I don't want to melt my face off. I just want to like take a nice walk. I want so I
Yeah.
the last time I went to the store, I was like, okay, here's what I want. I want my like best friend's brother's weed that he's growing in his parents' basement, and
Mm-hmm.
like they don't
Mm-hmm.
know about it, and it's really not strong at all, and you have to like use the like smoke a lot of it to feel anything at all. Like that's what I want
Yeah.
because it's all melt your face off.
Because like even when I was over with you, what, year and a half, 2 years ago now,
Uh-huh.
ish, and we went to the store and you
Yeah,
could buy pre-roll joints, and even the lowest strength pre-roll that we bought blew my head off
yeah,
completely.
yeah. I got one that was like 27%. That's and like when we were in Portugal, like that's what I wanted.
Yeah, that was good
That
stuff. That
was the
was
perfect
mm-hmm.
amount.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
I,
but yeah, I have like I don't see it as a bad habit necessarily. I'm not using it for like anything. Like I'll take like CBD for pain,
Yeah.
and I was taking it for sleep for a long time, but now I'm on a different medication and I don't seem to need it. Um, but I used to do it for like fun and enjoyment,
Yeah.
but it's just too hard, like with kids, and I get the
Yeah.
paranoia all the time.
Yeah.
I'm always paranoid. So,
I
and hungry
I don't
and
think
tired.
it depends. Like if I'm with a group of people and I know I'm going to be with them, I can do it outside. But otherwise, my preference is not to do it because I hate being high and then going into a social situation. It's just not
No,
fun. I don't think
no,
at all. Not
yeah,
for me anyway.
no,
Um, but overall, in the grand scheme of things, I really do think in terms of like drugs that you could be connected with, it's not so bad. And certainly compared to alcohol, it is
yeah,
far preferable in my opinion,
yeah, yeah. I totally agree. Like, I remember the first few times doing it, and like I was, in college or whatever. I was a
Hmm.
late bloomer, and just being like, no hangover in the morning. What is this
Yes,
like magic potion? And I still believe that.
I think so.
Um, okay, so I'm an interrupter when I'm high or drunk.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like like I pride myself on being a good listener, like when I'm, and he's like, yes, yes, you are.
You are. No, no, no. I was
Yeah.
I was nodding to the listener thing, but
Yeah,
yes, go
no,
on.
no. But like I know I'm normally a good listener, but once I imbibe in anything, I just cannot shut the fuck up. And like I remember there were times in Portugal where like we had been drinking or like smoked a joint or whatever, and I was just like talking. And like we're all being so polite and just being like, let her do her thing because she's just on a roll. And who knows what story I was talking about or whatever, but like Mike mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Like we were
Uh-huh.
to dinner with a friend, and I'd had like, one too many or whatever. And
Hmm.
I just like took over, and I feel bad about that.
Like, I mean, like, I can't say that I've noticed it in terms of like flip sake Beth, would you stop? I've never really felt like that in terms of but like for me, I really I love hearing people talk anyway, but I also, it's a double-edged sword, but like it's one of the things that kind of really helps me loosen up and makes me feel like comfortable around people. Like it sucks that I kind of need that, but it's kind of
Me
true,
too.
unfortunately. And I really like that it sort of, graces the wheels of like socialization for me. So I think like as long as people, because I think that's common, it's a fairly common habit in that way, because I think so many people do it. But there's, and obviously with drink especially, things can go south quite quick. And as long as that doesn't happen and it's just like
Yeah.
blah
I
blah
always
blah,
think
it's
I'm
fine.
quite charming, and like I
Yeah.
stay away from religion and politics, and like I
Yes.
follow those like those social rules for having a good time. I just think I'm really like funny.
Yeah.
And whatever I have to say is like more important than what everybody else at the table has to say.
Alcohol. Um,
Uh,
I hear you. I hear
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what
Um,
I'm not so proud of, and I need to like rein it in on all levels.
yeah. I just changed image. It's like I'm looking into the sun. Yes, I know what you mean. Like for a while there, I had completely given up drinking for like about a year, and I still don't do it very often. It'll be an occasional thing, and if I do, I really don't like drinking to excess because if I do, it's like this is my weekend gone, basically, and I hate that. I really, really do. I hate
Yeah.
the recovery days after a lot of drinking. It really pisses me off, honestly. So, if I, it's one of the things that really kind of stopped me from going too nuts anymore.
Yeah.
Stops me from going too nuts anymore.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um,
You got any more?
Um, so one of the things, and I wonder if you've had a thought on this, was coffee.
Mm.
I think that I kind of, I mean, like, people have various feelings on whether this is a bad habit or not, but I kind of need a cup of coffee in the morning, so
I
that's an
thought you were gonna be
addiction.
like, I love pumpkin spice lattes, and I was gonna be like, this is we can't podcast
And I just
anymore.
I just hold up a giant tub of pumpkin spice that I'm like, this is me for the year, Beth. Um, no, and I think that it is a um well, there's negative connotations to caffeine and stuff like that, but it's another one that I've noticed like how it affected me sleeping, and it was like I'm gonna go with coffee, and I did it for a year, and it was brutal. And then like I just minimize it. I just make sure I drink one cup, and I have it in the mornings, and then that's it. Because or else it'll just
Yeah.
destroy my sleep. Otherwise,
I can't I used to be Mike is he's a one pot a day kind of guy.
uh-huh,
Uh-huh.
nice, good for him. Yeah,
And he doesn't need sugar, he doesn't need cream. He's just
yeah,
like, yeah, I'm in it for the drugs.
yeah,
That's what I need to get through the day. And
yeah,
like he also drinks like Diet Coke during the day too. I don't know how much caffeine he ingests. So that's
yeah.
his best bad habit. I can't because of my health conditions.
Hmm.
I can't drink coffee anymore.
Do you miss it?
I do. I do. I miss the yeah, I miss the ritual of like
Yeah,
pouring it and sitting there and, reading the news and like pouring some of that really good Irish creamer in and like or yeah, and like watching the kids and just like watching the sun come up. And I don't
yeah,
do that now. Like I don't have that thing that's forcing me to like start my morning a certain way. It's just
yeah.
like and I do miss it. And I could totally like make myself a cup of tea or whatever, but it just doesn't feel the same.
It's not. No, I totally agree.
Mm-mm.
And like, and I wonder is it like the whole placebo thing with like the caffeine, like is tea's caffeinated as well, but like
Yeah.
I just don't get the same hit from a cup of tea that I would
No.
from coffee.
Yeah, and you don't get like headaches from not drinking a cup of tea a day,
It's
right?
it's true.
You're not like, oh, I
Uh,
have this headache, nothing is taking it away. I must drink the coffee, and then it's gone,
such
right?
like
So
damning indictment of coffee there. Yeah, it's like I need my hit. I needed my fix.
I need my fix, and like I wonder, I wonder how strong coffee used to be before like Starbucks became a thing, and like, you know, now
Yeah,
everyone's having coffee milkshakes for their, you
that's
know,
true.
their adult coffee
I
milkshake.
was where is it? Is it Panera? Is doing this like what
Mhm.
charged lemonade that like is giving people
Do
heart
you see?
attacks because there's so much
Yeah,
caffeine in it. It's
yeah. Like
that's
th
fucking nuts.
someone's two people had to go to the hospital, and then like I read yesterday that one person is suing them because not like a third person is suing them because she had like bad reaction.
Absolutely wild. Like it really is.
Yeah.
Um, do you
Do you
have any
remember?
sorry, go
I
on.
was gonna no, I'm blabbing, but do you remember Four Loco?
I
Do you
do.
guys have
We
that?
still we still have Four Loko.
Is it still like the same recipe that it was? I think they
I
changed.
don't I think UK is more restrictive, so I don't think ours was ever quite as intense as the Four Loko you guys had, but we definitely
Yeah,
I think we still have it
I
in
have
some
photos.
places.
Yeah, I don't think they sell it here anymore. If they do, like it's just not the section of the store that I'm in. But Mike definitely went through a Four Loco period.
For the folks that don't know, Four Loko is, and
Yeah,
correct me if I get this wrong, it's a
yeah,
caffeinated alcohol drink.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
like sweet sort of drink. It's not like lemonade and stuff like that, or it depends.
Yeah, it's basically what people do with like Red Bull and vodka,
Yeah,
but it's like three times stronger on both the
yeah.
alcohol and the caffeine. So you're just like insane, basically, and you're up forever. And yeah, it's yeah. Ah,
Rocket
yeah,
fuel, as they say.
yeah, yeah.
Um, if you do you have any others? Because I have another sort of a reversal of this. If you don't,
I mean, nothing.
um,
I mean, I procrastinate.
yes, that was something else I was thinking of. I'm wild for that, but
Yeah,
I've kind of turned my a lot of my procrastination in. Oh well, okay, I don't want to do this thing, but I need to do something with this time, so I'll like hoover the house or like tidy up a bit or do something I've been putting off for ages. So like my procrastination kind of forces me to do other tasks that it's just the like the peak tasks that I'm avoiding, you know.
Yeah, I'm a work, so it's uh I'm I don't know, like a diagnosed workaholic or whatever,
Hmm.
but part of that is also you procrastinate you as hard as you workaholic. So like
That makes
I
sense.
will hit at home, I will be doing all the things, and then all of a sudden I can't do anything. It's
Yeah.
super weird. So at least I can point my finger at like that part of my personality and just be like, that's just who you are.
Yeah.
And
I
that's okay.
think I can relate to that for sure. That very much so, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about.
So I learned that in therapy.
Yeah. Therapy, it's good for all your ills.
Right. Get
Uh,
addicted to therapy.
yeah, get addicted to therapy, everybody. Yeah, ideally. Um, so one of the things, because I was looking through lists, I just get a wee bit of inspiration to think about things, and
Mhm.
and so I got through, went through, looked through some lists of bad habits, and I was looking at some bad habits that they listed, and I was thinking, could I do with a bit more of this? And one of them
Uh,
was losing your temper. So like I don't really lose my temper because I'm fairly even keeled. Like I do, but I normally lose my temper at myself.
mhm.
And I don't think I would ever want to start losing my temper at people. It's just not me. But I think it'd be better to use that as a kind of pressure release a little bit, rather
I
than
don't,
holding things inside.
yeah, I don't, I mean, I lose my temper. It takes me a lot of being ignored by my children for me to lose my temper.
Yeah.
But when I do, it's like it has gravitas because it doesn't happen very
Yes.
often.
Uh,
Um, but I would say I probably lose my temper more than you.
Yeah. Like I mean, I can count the explosive times I've lost my temper on one hand. Like it's
Oh
very
yeah.
rare.
Oh
It's
geez.
and like and people are always like, whoa. And I think there's some sort of saying behind that. It's like, be careful of the temper of like a mild-mannered man or something like that. I can't remember what the saying is,
Mhm.
but because it always people are always like, whoa, what the fuck's happened, But like it's interesting because some of the people I've lost my temper with are some of the close bonds that I have. And which is an interesting, weird sort of thing. So I don't know what that's about, but I always kind of find that an interesting sort of to look at that and see where those parallels are.
That's a really interesting question. Yeah, my dad prided himself on his temper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was a New Yorker. He was a redheaded New Yorker. So
Nice.
um
That's a
he would,
confrontational.
oh yeah, I mean, he would just lose it at the top. I mean, he was always yelling. And I remember like I was in high school, some 16 or 17, just being like, I think I might have an ulcer someday. Like, but he would just off gas and then
Hmm.
feel great, and that was sort of his way of dealing with things. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's unhealthy to lose your temper.
Yeah.
And I think I wonder what that would do for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Like,
like,
can you think of any areas of your life where you're like, oh, I could totally lose my temper about that?
mm,
You're like, no.
I mean, yes, but like I'm I'm generally angry about like work and and
I'm
and
mad
certain
about jobs I don't even have anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
very much so, so like that's and like there's something and I've worked with people who are almost like serial temper losers, I guess, and it's impossible to work with them. And they often get their own way because people just don't want to deal with them, and I really
Yeah.
hate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think there's a balance to be found there. I just don't know what it is.
I really like that question.
Mm, good.
And I like the idea that you're flipping that and thinking about it in that way.
Are there any is there anything like that that springs to mind for you?
I'm looking at my
Mhm.
list. And I don't think so.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I don't think so. There are things where I've like, I remember Mike and I first started dating and I was a slob and he would like look at my house. I literally would feed because I had a really sweetie head who we
Yes.
talked about. She was obese. And so I was like, she needs to move around more. So I would throw her food all over the house in one big, so then she'd have to walk around and go like like a
Right, find her food.
like a
Yeah.
little kitty video game, right? Um, and I thought it was totally normal, right? And the first time I did it in front of him, and I was like, "Homeless kitties," and they ate all the food off the floor. He was just like, "What the fuck have I just stepped into?" Um, and like my car was a mess, but like I've cleaned my act up.
Yep.
I'm a tidier person, and I think that's for the better, and it's interesting, like, you can change over time, like you can change your behaviors,
Yeah.
you can change your habits, and you know, but I really like that. I'm gonna leave this with wondering about that question of like what are some habits that I could have more and do more of.
Yeah.
You
I think that
know.
might be a good place to move. Yeah, it's a good place to move
Yeah,
into our
yeah,
our last section.
yeah.
Um, and the question that we all dread. And as I'm about to ask it, I'm thinking, oh no, my eyes are darting across the place as I'm trying to think of something. But Beth, I'm going to ask you first then, what's been bringing you joy this
It's
week?
like being at a restaurant and someone doesn't know what they want. They're like, you order first. I'll order first. So,
Yeah.
um, I got to go to my favorite restaurant in the whole world,
Hmm.
which is in downtown San Diego by the airport. It's like right by the airport.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the people that own this restaurant, it's been there forever. Like it's changed ownership and all that, whatever. But they were smart enough to have an open air like back area.
Uh-huh.
So it's like nice tables, heaters, and you can sit out there literally under the flight path of all of the small commercial airplanes that are flying,
Cool.
maybe 100 feet above your head.
Nice.
So we took my friend and her fiance and the kids, and I was like, "We're going somewhere. I'm not going to tell you anything about it." And like, we walk in and like sit down and start ordering, and like every 5 minutes, the plane just goes. It's like you're having a total Wayne's World moment, but there are bathrooms and food and cocktails and like all your favorite people sitting at the table.
That's
So
nice.
it totally brought me joy.
That's lovely.
I
Yeah,
really
really
love
cool.
airplanes and like watching airplanes. So
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
off and land, flying overhead, great.
when I was working at that job and the car driving job, it was
Mhm.
great because it was at the airport and it is just nice. Yeah, I do like seeing them come in. It's pretty exciting. Though these were like commercial flights, so they're big ass planes. Well, big ass planes for Belfast anyway.
Right, right, right.
So medium sized planes for most other places. Um,
What
yeah.
about you?
So
Da,
I
da.
guess I mean I mentioned seeing my friends again. That was nice. It's the first time we've kind of got together as a group in quite a while, maybe about 6 months or so. So that was super lovely. But and this, it's that's so often I gotta be choosing a product of
I
some
love
kind.
that though. I love that.
Uh
Like you choose a product and then I get the benefit of watching. We
oh,
finished season 3 of Slow Horses and
oh
now
nice.
I'm devastated because the next one doesn't come out till like
I
November.
know. And they film them like ahead of time. But yeah, no, it's great. That last season was fantastic, I thought.
It was
Uh
so good. It was so intense. Mike was like, "Should we stop watching?" I'm not going to give anything away, but the last 2 episodes of the third season, you're just like on your toes
yeah,
the whole time.
yeah.
So good.
And
So well done.
lots of amazing
Sorry.
the no, just before we get into the Jackson Lamb scene, which is one I talked to you about before, where he gets into the car with the guy, is so
Remind me to
incredible.
tell you about. Oh yeah. Okay, so I have to send you something. It was someone's created a fake Jackson Lamb yoga class,
Nice.
and it's all like I'm gonna fart and like namaste and fuck you at the end.
Even his reaction when he sees Roddy's car for the first time and he goes, fuck me with a wire brush. It was such an amazing reaction. Anyway,
What was
I
it,
did
Big Rod?
Big Rod, yeah, Big Rod. He's such an asshole, that guy.
I know.
Um,
All
so
right.
yes, it's got it right.
So
So
please drop a product in there.
yeah, yeah, slow horses, not with TV. So so the thing that I've been enjoying is it's another video game. It is so the you've heard of The Last of Us, I'm sure you have because the show and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that now as well.
Yeah.
Did you watch the
Yep.
show?
I did.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it really follows the story of the first game really quite closely, and I'm really excited. So I'm playing through The Last of Us 2 because the remaster came out. I'm really interested to see because it's quite a change from the first game. I'm really interested to see how the kind of larger world reacts whenever they kind of see the way the story goes. But all too often, and it is a trope in games, that writing is awful. It's just not good. It's an afterthought. It's the gameplay is the first and foremost, and the writing comes afterwards. But the writing in these games is fucking fantastic. The characters
Ah.
feel real and believable, and there's like a love story between two characters, and it happens pretty early on. I mean, it kind of builds throughout the game, but it's kind of like the game starts and they had their first kiss the night before. So it's them in this sort of period where they've just had their first kiss and they're kind of getting involved and they're like having conversations about rating each other's kisses and stuff like that. And it's just feels real and kind of solid in a way that, a lot of, all too often in video games, women are like a trophy. And to see, see these really well drawn female characters and, but, characters, male and female characters, but it makes me very happy. It's just a nice kind of, even though it's a kind of a apocalyptic, kind of nightmare world,
Hmm.
the how lived in the characters feel is really kind of nice, nice thing to spend some time with.
Hmm. It's a testament to video games and like how much care they're starting to put into them that I mean, granted there was always going to be a Tomb Raider,
Yeah.
just because, but like it's that they're spawning movies and
Yes.
shows that are winning awards
Yes.
now. It's really cool.
It really speaks volumes to how far they progress, and I think
Yeah.
there is
Beyond like Grand Theft Auto, like getting out, just like slapping a woman in the face. It's like,
100%. Like, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
getting a prostitute, having sex with her, and
yep,
then murdering her immediately and taking her
yep,
money.
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Like, and unfortunately, those are still the games that are going to get all the headlines and stuff. But like, there is
yeah,
such a rich
yeah,
selection of other games. I think in previous week I talked about this game that was like about the immigrant experience, like this Indian family who moves to Canada, and it was like a story of their life told through cooking food. And I'm like, I
yeah,
love
yeah,
that this is possible. So yeah, exciting
yeah.
stuff out there.
Good. Love it.
So yeah, so that was a lot of video game chat for all you folks out there. Hope you loved it. I'm sure you're all massive gamers, right? Um,
I bought
but
the original Yoshi at a flea market on
oh,
Saturday for
nice.
$5.
Sweet.
It didn't work.
For the NES? No, wait, for what?
No,
SNES?
it did.
NES? Okay.
No, that the original.
Okay, nice, good,
Yeah.
interesting.
What do you call it? The NES?
NES?
We call it the
NES?
NES. NES.
Yeah. Hmm.
The OG from like third grade.
Because we have the NES and then the SNES, but it was called the Super Famicom, I think, for you guys.
What?
Oh no, we're getting into the weeds. This is too much video game chat. Abort, abort.
Word of word.
Okay, we're wrapping up. We are wrapping up this time for sure. Folks, as always, we would like to remind you to stay
Stay bendy.
Oh, another incredible one. Good
I
job.
think so. I think so. Well done. All right.
Bye, folks. We love you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Love you. Bye, bye, bye. Okay, stop recording. That
Good
was
stuff.
good.
Was good.
I'm glad we talked about real things
Yeah. And the
like
habits thing.
drugs.
Yeah.
What's up?
And that, yeah, like as part of me is like, should I? Because it is technically illegal here, but I don't really care. No,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna track me down. Like I hear My benchmark is other far more popular podcasts talk about taking illegal drugs and they haven't went to jail, so it's all good.
We have a recipe book for how to make meth. Yay!
Nice. Now we're talking.
It's the
Uh,
Anarchist Cookbook. Mike has a copy.
I I
Did you
didn't
see
know there
that
was a.
documentary?
I know I heard about it because it was a thing even back in school for me. That Chris Cooper was people were talking
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, yeah,
Like Mike got rid of it, and the guy that wrote it is just like it was the worst thing I could have ever done.
yeah. It's like those guys that make 3D models for like guns and then ceramic guns and then the people use them for awful things and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
what have I
yeah,
unleashed into the world?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
AI. Woohoo!
yeah.
Okay, so
Good
this
old
is
AI.
ep 17. Holy man, I don't think I made the folder yet. Hold on. New folder. Episode 17. Create. Cool. Got this thing in. And then next, so 17 best version, moving over. Do you want to just do one next week or do you want to do two? I don't care.
Let me see. Let me turn the calendar here.
I have no house guests.
Um, because it would be good to do it now before the choir starts because I feel like it's going to take up a lot of my time. Um,
Oh, yeah, I could totally do that.
yeah, next week would work for me because I'm not doing medicinal yoga stuff, and yeah, that
Okay.
could. So yeah,
Okay, so let's plan on it. If it doesn't work out, then that's okay.
yeah, okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Right, I need to
Let's
pee
go
again,
pee.
as always. Yeah, all right.
Okay. All right.
Good to see you. See you
Bye,
soon.
you too.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.